Hey folks, earlier this year I was in Toronto for the Federation of Canadian Municipalities 2023 annual conference. And while I was there, I was able to sign up for a small group cycling tour where we were able to go and check out some of the active transportation infrastructure that they've been developing in downtown Toronto. So took a few pictures while I was there and thought that I would share them here. So here we are out as a group. We were very fortunate to be led on this tour by some City of Toronto planning and transportation engineering staff who have had direct hands in the development and know it, really well and are able to provide some insight. So there I am with a bunch of delegates from across the country who were at the conference, and we were all out for the same reason, to see what insights we could glean while we were there. One of the interesting things with active transportation when it's redevelopment, so by that I mean when you're going into a space that already exists and having to make some changes to it, is making decisions on what might work best. In this particular area, this is right basically along the waterfront. In this case, they've put in bidirectional flow, so that's where you have 2 lanes for active transportation, cycling, etc., where they're side by side going in opposite directions, and that sort of runs for quite a bit of the waterfront. And then shortly after that, we took a left turn or a northward turn, and then came to this, which is something that may be more familiar in some instances, depending on what you're used to seeing, where you have the same directional flow for the cycling lanes as the motor vehicle traffic over here. One of the nice things they did along this stretch of street that I thought really worked well, so the cycling lanes are on a raised lane away from the motor vehicles, and then you got your sidewalk over here, and between it there's all this greenery and the trees that helps to just beautify and add some vibrancy to the area, and just adds to the experience in a positive way, makes it enjoyable for those using it. Here we are on the same street, just looking backwards, and you can see basically the mirror image on the other side with cycle lane, greenery, and then the sidewalk is tucked back in there. This was an interesting brief pause that we made just as we were waiting for some lights to change. When it comes to developing good, safe, usable active transportation networks, we know from the statistics that the most dangerous place is the intersection. So when you look at where most of the collisions are, where you have your highest number of cyclist injuries and deaths, it is the majority of them are in the intersections. And part of it is because you have all of these different flows and types of traffics moving in different directions that are coming into conflict with each other and interfacing with each other. So every intersection is a little bit different. It's like a puzzle that has to be put together based on using some engineering and sort of observation of what the needs are going to be. So with this one, what they did was kind of interesting, because not only does it deal with flow of traffic, but also when you've got bikes that are waiting to cross for the light up here to change, there's some loading area right here that they can wait in. And then you can't see it in the picture. This was just a quick snap that I took, but where I'm sitting on my borrowed bike, and you can see the tire of another rider here, we're also sitting sort of back. Well, why is this space in the middle empty? This intersection in particular is a T, so it's a 3-way intersection, which means that the way they designed it, it allows for cyclists who are traveling northbound, they can continue to travel through here, even when the lights are different for the motor vehicle traffic over here. But you need a loading space for those who are waiting to turn. And then they also added the concrete barriers, which just helps to sort of close the space up a little bit and build a sense of safety in the area. And then on the last stretch of our journey, this was a case of a motor vehicle traffic lane that has been converted. And, always an interesting discussion in not just Toronto, but many cities that are making the decision to do these conversions, because there are obviously different viewpoints on this. And there are some who like it and some who don't like it. And You know, I'm sure that will be part of the ongoing political discussion for many years to come. But the next picture will actually demonstrate maybe some food for thought for those who aren't as happy with it. One of the things I did observe here that you can see in this picture and in the next one, same area, but just looking backwards, is how they've taken these concrete barriers and colorized them just to add some vibrancy to the neighborhood and to the area, as well as the safety, that we need to be always thinking about as we build active transportation networks. But one of the things I like about this angle here, looking backwards, we were out during a busier time, so there was some rush hour traffic. And, if you look backwards and see all of these cyclists that were using the lane to commute, you can imagine putting them all back into cars and putting them onto the roadway again. Well, that would equal more motor vehicle traffic for everyone. It means more sitting in traffic and more traffic around you as you're trying to navigate if you do have to use motor vehicle transportation to get around. So one of the great things about this is that it actually does some diversion into a different mode of transportation, and can, in the aggregate, can actually, there's studies that have shown that it can actually decrease the travel times for all modes of transportation. So anyway, I'm sure that debate will continue for many years. So if you're ever in Toronto, consider renting some of their bikes and using that to get around and see what you see. It's pretty interesting stuff. So, and I certainly found it interesting while I was there. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.